The Working Actor NYC. That's Benjamin Howes, soon to be joined by Patrick Richwood, who is on his way. He's having some technical difficulties right now. Hey, Lamar, thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. We are going to get into a whole episode of radical ownership of your creative life because actors are sick and tired of being told to create their own work, and I suspect that they're probably already doing it. Oh, yes, Dolls of Horror, the tech. We're actually an entire week late because my laptop decided that it was going to just keep freezing every few minutes. We still haven't completely gotten to the bottom of that mystery, but we are on our way. We've got a brand new, spanking new computer, so there's all sorts of things that need to be... Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the late Patrick Richwood.
The late, great Patrick Richwood. Oh, look, the Gerber baby. Please welcome the Gerber baby. I apologize for being...
Not intentionally late, of course.
You wouldn't believe the technical morning. Everything but smoke coming out of the computer. No kidding.
You're here now, and that is all any of us cares about.
Thank you, darling.
Now,
That's
look,
all I care about.
Today is going to be a really interesting episode. It came out of this whole idea that's been generating on multiple platforms that actors are sick and tired of being told to create their own work. So we decided to talk about what that actually looks like in an actor's life. And I have a sneaking suspicion you're probably already doing some of it already, and you're just not giving yourself credit. And just getting annoyed that somebody thinks you're not doing enough. And I suspect that a lot of us are already well on our way to figuring out what that looks like in our own lives. So today we're going to be talking about taking radical ownership of your creative life. Radical ownership of your creative life. But first, Patrick and I have been we've been watching a lot of television lately.
We've been doing research in the field.
So 60 seconds on the clock. Patrick Richwood, what's your takeaway for the field report? What are your takeaways from, we went to the premieres of season 4 of Ted Lasso and season 1 of Widow's Bay, which involves Q&As with the cast members. 60 seconds on the clock. What's your takeaway from those?
My takeaways are, I have 2 takeaways from in front of the experience and from after the experience. The in front of the experience is you really realize how actors sort of stigmatize others in a positive or negative way as better or worse than themselves. Uh-huh. And you'll be standing in line and talking to people, and you can get all kinds of hits on how where people put themselves in the pecking order, and they elevate these people that we're about to see and sort of want to emulate them or want to impress them or want to be like them or want to show that they belong there, or all these things that are sort of transparent when you talk to... I've had this experience anyway. And that's one thing that...
Well, that was your 60 seconds. We're going to go for another 60 seconds. Go!
Oh, it goes hand in hand with this other thing, which is that invariably when I go to these things, and the last 2 with you have been the same, I'm left with, well, that's me. That's me up there. Those folks are people that I work with every day in terms of their stature, not every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no difference except they're working and they're experiencing the joy of that. They might be famous. That's fun too. They might be extra super busy and crazed. It's all of that. But they're actors. They're fucking actors, same as us. And they say the same things we do, and they have the same worries we do, and they have the same concerns we do. They're just talking about it, in the context of, I'm doing this series. Isn't it great?
That is perfect. I love that observation because it really perfectly encapsulates something that we used to say at the Spark File, which is no one is above me, no one is below me, haters to the left. So it's that thing of, we are all working actors. Some of us just seem to be working more visibly than others.
That's right.
But they all have the exact same thoughts and feelings. My takeaway, this might be a hot take, and I would love to get some reaction from this from our commenters who are watching. What I was fascinated by at the Widow's Bay Q&A, Matthew Rhys is an excellent actor, and he plays the lead, Mayor Tom Loftus in Widow's Bay, and I thought he gave it an excellent performance.
Yeah.
The impression that I got from the half an hour that we spent with the real Matthew Rhys is that he has a very self-assured opinion of himself. He behaves like an A-list celebrity star, whether he is one or not to you. And I was absolutely fascinated by that, because I've noticed that there are a number of celebrities who treat themselves like celebrities. And I think Matthew Rhys is one of them. I believe he has the acting chops to back it up, but I think it was just a really excellent example of a personality type that is sort of, if he didn't have the acting chops to back it up, then it would be insufferable. Because if he was just online at the EPA behaving like that, it would be like, oh God, this dude is such a jerk. But the fact that
but it wasn't. I mean, but it was all charming. He was.
I'm not saying it wasn't charming. I'm not saying it wasn't charming. I'm just saying that there was a self-assuredness, a self-confidence, a self-belief that came out of every pore.
Yes,
it could be come across as entitlement, and I'm not mad about it. I'm just observing it in other people.
That's an interesting observation. I didn't catch that.
I don't possess it in myself.
The ones that really are irritating are the fake confidence, when people are like, bolstering themselves up and doing it in a way where they think they're coming across as like. That's what irritates me, is the inauthentic version. I think why this Matthew Rhys kind of confidence appealed to you is because, it may be all something that you wish to have more of in your life, right? But it also, in your own experience, but it also is appealing because it was authentic.
Right.
It was authentic. It wasn't like this guy doing a show for the panel and being this way. And you could see the people that were like, oh God, please don't call on me. But then they were funny.
Well, it's interesting. Were there people who came across in a totally different way than that?
Yeah, like the other guy at the other end, whose name is escaping me. Hamish?
Hamish Linklater.
Yeah, who's so funny. And he was very much like, he would just stop himself in the middle and be like, yep, that's all I have to say. And it was adorable, but it was a different vibe, and that doesn't mean he's not 100% confident as an actor. In fact, I would guess that
he's an amazing filmmaker as well. I mean, he stands toe to toe with any of these people. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm talking about what he thinks of him. What we do and how we're perceived in the world is very different than what we think about ourselves. He has
a healthy disrespect of celebrity is the feeling that I got from Hamish.
Yeah. I like that because that's what I thought too. It was really fun to see. Also, the other piece is it's so wonderful when you get a cast together that just loves being together.
Yeah, excellent. I'm just going to do a quick shout out to our friends over on TikTok who are missing out on Patrick's beautiful face. You can hit the link tree and it'll bring you right over to the podcast, the live podcast.
For crying out loud,
that you're watching. You're getting a small taste of it with just my punum. But
I wish I could reach
come on over.
I
know, we just want to go like that, and then
tickle your ear or something.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our I will just never not enjoy that music. It makes me feel like I'm 7 years old again.
I love it so much.
In front of that little television that you used to have to go up and turn the channel. Like if you wanted to change the channel, you had to actually go and turn a knob in order to do it.
Of course.
Look, one of the central ideas of this podcast, the radical ownership of your creative life, is that actors spend enormous amounts of time waiting for someone else to give them an opportunity to practice their art professionally. But
that's true. We do, don't we?
the casting process does not decide when you get to feel like an artist, when you get to work. It doesn't decide when you get to be creative. It decides when you get paid to do it. The casting process is in charge of that.
It provides an opportunity. That's what the casting process does. It provides an opportunity.
And the things that the trend that we're sort of here to dig into is that oftentimes actors are asked at these casting director workshops that I go to and I'm sure the same applies at agent workshops as well, is that actors are saying, what could I be doing to bolster my career? And the reply, what do you call that when something's like just in a nutshell, like it's a very small version of the idea, is the reply is create your own work. And I just think that within that very glib sort of small reply, like it's a little answer to a big question, I think there's a lot more to be unpacked in there.
I do too.
Because I don't think that creating your own work means you have to write a screenplay or produce a play or figure out how to monetize every creative impulse you've ever had. It can simply mean refusing to let the industry of acting and casting be the gatekeeper of your relationship with your own imagination, with your own creativity.
Yeah. Can I just interject something here that I think is actors? We all think of ourselves as, we have all the questions, right? We have all these questions to ask casting directors. Casting directors are not oracles. They have a million questions too. They're humans, same as us.
Yeah.
They are not at the, I remember when we started talking about this podcast and you had said, you were formulating your thoughts and you'd said casting maybe the ones that can get you the work, but they're not the ones that can give you permission to be creative or something. And I said, they're not even the ones that can get you the work. They can get you the opportunity to be seen, but they're almost never is a casting director the final say in who gets cast. I mean, almost never. It depends on how big they are and how wonderful they are and the size of the role, and how creatively respected they are. But really, they're passing along. They really are gatekeepers, and I mean that now. I'm saying that in an honorable way. Like that's their position. They are bridging. They are bringing this talent to this talent, and if they're lucky, ask any casting director. If they're lucky, they get a richer say in how much of that they have more power at it, or are allowed to do it, more powerfully. Anyway, that said, I feel like we are always thinking that if a casting director says it, I guess it's true. Well, first of all, create your own work is a trending response right now.
That's right.
It is exactly. It's a product of our time, and casting directors, understandably, are looking at the parameters of their world and going, well, it seems like that's what's needed. So that's it is a pat answer. But inside there is a kernel of wisdom that I don't even think is intended, not because they're not wise. It's just, it's in there though anyway. And that is always be creative. If you're a creative artist and you want to know what you can be doing to create more for your career, let's say, or your output, create. Go to class, do your other art forms, be creative in everything you do, practice it more. I mean, I definitely think that opens up energetic doors because I've seen it over and over again.
I've been experiencing this in my very own life because the month of July was Benjamin Fix Your Damn House month. And so over the past month, I have been doing a lot of creative things that have zero to do with my acting career. I have built a fence. I have built a faux living wall with 500 LED lights in it for the front of my house.
Fantastic too.
I have been painting doors and trim and making my house pretty. I have been baking cakes and making salads for my friends. I've been writing Substack essays and making video. You know what I'm saying? alongside my acting career and my coaching career. But all of these things are I'm exercising my imagination. I'm making choices. These are all cogs in the wheel of creativity, whether it's applied to your acting career or not.
Right.
I actually don't care that much what I'm making. I just like making things.
Right, exactly. As you know, I've been a painter. I was a painter long before I was an actor, and painting is my first love. And
Yeah,
I've been
exactly.
painting and drawing and illustrating and muraling and all my life. And I find that when I'm not playing a role for a long enough period of time, I start I find I start doing art. So I'm painting, and it almost just creeps up on me. And these are things that I've been wanting to paint for a while, but now I find I'm doing them, working on them, right?
So I had
Because of
a
that.
question about that. Do you regard that? Here's one of the sort of differentiations that I think might be helpful for our listeners and viewers. When you start painting or writing, do you regard that as play or do you regard that as expression? Are you in the zone of I enjoy making things because I have something to say, or is this just something that amuses you, something that you're not doing it for any kind of audience or
I'm
strategy or
not, yeah,
monetization?
both are true because I'm not
Okay.
definitely not doing it for any sort of audience or anything. And I'm automatically in the creative zone. And I think it's the exact same bandwidth as we were in when we're doing our best work as actors, writers, painters, poets, um, architects, doctors, mathematicians. That creative thing that clicks over and causes you to be at your best
Yeah.
and not and above the text, past the text, if you will,
Uh-huh,
if
uh-huh.
you were an actor. You got the text, you've got the work, right? You've done it. It's all in there. It's all learned. But the real joy is surfing above it, surfing it, rather than being a prisoner of it or being beholden to it. You get to fly with it, and that's the exact same bandwidth I'm in when I'm painting
Uh-huh.
or when I'm writing. I lose track of the time. I lose, I look up and it's all dark outside, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to eat. I told you my dog Monty used to tap on my dad,
It's
dad,
time.
dad.
I have needs too.
Either teach me to operate a can opener or fucking feed me.
I have
Um,
needs too.
yeah, and I'm like, shut up, I'm painting, and painting you, god damn it, I'm immortalizing you. Shut up. But I think those two things are. I feel like they both are part and parcel, and as it happens, something wants to express itself through me, and that's the venue it's choosing, or that's
So
the
then,
venue it picked.
so then I have a follow-up question to that, which is, do you ever find yourself in a position where you're like, I have an opinion about this and I want to express it in some way? How does that sort of show up? Like, are you like, I know, for example, and I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, but I know that you're a big fan of a laundry marker and a blank t-shirt. And I just wonder.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'll be honest, that is for validation, because I know it's going to get a lot of laughs if I wear it, and I know people are going to say, where'd you get that t-shirt? And that's fun for me. So it's kind of like a little for myself, but I
Great.
also enjoy it. But doing a painting or writing, and writing has a little bit of that. I
Yeah.
know by the time it's starting to formulate and be good, I know this is going to be fun to share because people are going to like it. And you hope not everybody's going to like it, but you hope that people are going to recognize that's good writing, right?
Yeah.
So it's that. I don't have that with acting, and I don't have that with painting. For whatever reason, I am not sure. I do not know why that's missing. Maybe it's the ADD gene or something, but I don't have it with acting or writing. It's not. Of course, I'm a human. I want to be validated, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'd rather be. I had a teacher who, one of her ironclad mottos was, it's don't do it for it's expression. It's not you're not looking for a validation here. That's not going to get you the best work. If you're doing it for
As an
validation,
actor, yeah.
yeah, or as anything, honestly, any art form, it's like
Well,
it's
except your
natural to
t-shirts are
want validation. It's natural to want that. We're human, and to deny that is silly. But and this teacher in teaching format had to sort of draw a strict line and say leave it out, leave the
yeah,
validation out, because
yeah.
she knew probably that would be impossible for people, but they could develop tools that would override it so they could get to better work. That's why my friend said, who used to say, who I lived with used to say, "You're not getting the fucking part," when I would go for an audition. And I'd say, "Thank you," because it would remind me that I'm not going there to audition for a job. I'm going there to be an actor on a Thursday and do my best acting work on a
Yeah.
Thursday or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
that old thing.
So we've talked about creativity as play and creativity as expression. What about
Well, wait.
creativity?
You didn't answer the question
What
yourself.
what was the question?
Your last question about,
When I have something to say, where do I say it?
and
I have
also,
been
yeah.
I have been putting that effort into my content. That is where I have found the most satisfying way to create videos and Substack essays about a topic that I care about. And the reason I say when I have something to express, that's where I put it. It's because that is where I get the response that tells me that the exercise of creating like that is not just for me.
It's not in a vacuum.
It's not in a vacuum. I cannot tell you how we just said how you don't do it for validation, but there's an unbelievable feeling that comes over me when somebody comments on one of my videos. You have no idea how much I needed to hear this today.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I got that comment on a video, I was just so touched, so moved, because our experiences and the way we choose to impart the lessons that we have learned over the 25 years of being working actors in New York City, or
2,500 years in my case.
But the like finding a way to express what I found myself saying the other day, if there's one thing I wish every actor in New York City can learn from my experience, it is, and there is something incredibly satisfying to that.
Yeah,
that
I
experience
think,
of creating those videos.
I see that with you all the time. I think you're dead accurate about yourself, because I see that all the time. And one thing that you have taught me, or actually you've just really sort of accidentally clarified it for me, because I don't think these words ever came out of your mouth, but I see it, I witness it with you, is setting aside whether we do it for validation or not, right? Because how human are we that day, right? How vulnerable are we that day?
Yeah.
The really the life of an artist, and by that I mean the life of a person who speaks for humanity in some form or another, is really not about validation. It's about call and response.
Uh-huh.
And they're different.
Well, I mean, acting doesn't exist without an audience.
That's right. It's got to be call and response. And so in that sense, yes, we need that. It fuels us. But that's different than validation, because validation's fairly empty compared to when you're looking at it.
True.
Like,
Yeah, 100% true. It's the difference between validation and value. It's like one of them gives something to the audience, and if the audience can, receive it and benefit from it.
That's very true. How does it impact someone else? That's very true.
How does it impact somebody else?
You're absolutely right. Because we really do. And if you think about it, as artists, we kind of live over there with other people. At least our expression does. I was going to say something like, I can't think of what it was, but I'm going to use an example. I mean, I know what it was, but I can't think of how I was going to say it. But I'll use this as an example. When we do things, and the driving force in anything in life, but I'll use acting, is validation. Basically, we're saying, if you don't validate me, I don't exist. And so every audition you go to is is a minefield waiting to explode blow off one of your legs, because if you're going there, whether you're conscious of it or not, to get validation, i.e. a callback or the job or a compliment, you might be disappointed and still get the job. You might not get any of those things, or that's not why. It's so ironic, because that's not why you go. And if you can condition yourself not to go for that reason, to go for a bigger, better reason, which is owning the role, just walking in those shoes for 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 3 minutes, a miracle happens. You don't need the validation. You did your job. You feel great. You feel really productive, because you did what it is you got into this to do.
Right.
Which is that very thing you did for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And you did
Act
it
on
at
a
your
Tuesday.
best.
Yeah.
And you did it at your best. And I think that whether you get a drop of that or a 2-year job of that, it's made out of the same stuff and has the same value.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I think 1 minute of it,
I agree with
2
that.
years of it has the same value.
So then what about between those moments of acting, whether it's for 5 minutes on a Tuesday or for 2 years in a long-running show, staying creative between those moments doesn't always have to look like it is of career benefit. Your imagination, your curiosity, your problem solving, your taste, your decision making, your willingness to experiment, your willingness to fail can all be practiced by building a fence, by baking a cake. To use your words, that's the same stuff.
Right.
Those are made up of the same components that making choices and decisions and using your imagination, your acting career, they're all active when you have to figure out how to build a fence for your backyard.
Right. When I say to coaching clients, are you I'll often say, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? How do you? Oh, I want to do this by this time. I want to be this or that. Are you good at this? I don't know. And I'll say, my thought is immediately who should I ask? So, because you're the artist we're talking about. So if it's the same thing in a way, like if you're not playing a role, right, and you want to create some structure, and you're an artist, right? Okay, I'm going to build a fence. If that's tapping into your creativity, it's the same thing, because what's the common denominator? You're the artist building that fence. So you're going to do it in an artistic and creative way. You're the artist making that cake. So you're going to do it in an artistic and creative way. Even you're the artist, getting ready to go out. You're going to put on clothes. It's just, we can't not use that gene. We've got it. We're unicorns. We just are unicorns. So if you're a unicorn building a fucking fence, you're still a unicorn. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'd like to see a unicorn build a fence, because no thumbs, but whatever. Anyway.
They probably no thumbs, but magical poop. So
magic powers. It could probably just,
magical
make
poop.
A fence.
Yeah.
I
think we're going to come back to this at the end, because I sort of feel as though that's sort of fertile ground for feeling like an artist when you don't feel like an artist. But the other thing is, I feel like that all of those exercises help you when you do get into a situation where you're being asked, what do I bring to this? What's my take? What would I do with this material? Because it may not have as much weight or importance or value in your sort of conscious mind, but me deciding what my fence looks like is still Benjamin's decision. And that exercise of, this is my expression of fence.
Exactly.
The same stuff as, this is my expression of
Hamlet.
Hamlet or Walter, or whatever the character is.
You see, that's exactly what I was trying to express, and you just did it really beautifully, because it's like that's it. It's your Laertes. It's your fence. It's your It's your Walter. It's your
living
nature
wall.
wall, right? It's yours. It's yours. And
And
I think that circling back, that's the kernel of mythological wisdom that's embedded in that flip answer. Will create your own work
create your own work. Yeah.
based on a trending response that casting directors are just as caught up in as we are.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're oracles. There's wise ones and dumb ones. There's experienced ones and non-experienced ones. It's exactly the same as any other art form or business. But what they're saying has this kernel of truth. It might actually, I mean, it's more than that, right? Like now in the trend, that's going to be terrific if you want to do that. But if you aren't that wired that way, then just get on with it, because that's going to open energetic doors, I think.
This is what, I can't honestly say that building a fence helps my acting career. What I can say, what will benefit my career is developing my own voice rather than trying to figure out what they're looking for. This is an expression that helps me develop and define Benjamin's voice, Benjamin's artistic expression. And just the exercise of doing that builds the synapses in a way that allows me to facilitate it in acting career world.
And that's so interesting, because that goes synapses. That goes all, I know, so funny. Every now and then that little Aussie boy just shows up.
Oh, what is it? Oh, what's the American pronunciation?
Synapse.
Synapses? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to say synapses.
I think that's better. You know me. I'm like, say something else. Please say something else. Please. Come on. Please say something else. Telly. All right. We're watching the telly.
Anyway, let's get into... Wait. Go on.
This is important. This circles exactly back to the thing you were observing about Michael Reese and this
Matthew
thing,
Reese.
Right? I mean, excuse me, Matthew Reese. I know. And I think what it is the more you practice centering yourself in your self-expression, whether it's building a fence or baking a cake or playing Laertes, which you would be a terrific Laertes, by the way. Is that the role I'm thinking of? No, excuse me, Polonius. That's the one I'm thinking of. Polonius.
Oh, I'd love to play Polonius. Yeah.
So would I. Anyway, fight you for it. Flip you for it. Anyway, it goes back to this. Whatever one of those things you're doing, what you're developing is actually a muscle that's essential for projecting that authentic self-assuredness. That muscle that you're developing when you're just really tapping into the real you and doing it like it's just as much self-expression because it is, as playing Polonius, you're actually building the muscle that shows up when you're on a panel at the Robin Williams Center, and people looking and going, God, he has such innate, inherent confidence. I love that. That's what it is. You've got that. You've been practice building that muscle, that inner muscle. Yeah. And that's what that is, I believe, that shows up. That's why it's authentic. It's not a put upon thing. It's not a specific strategic behavior or a learned thing, a kind of way of being, necessarily, probably not in his case, because it did really seem authentic and genuine. And part of it, the charm of it was you could see everyone on the stage was used to enjoying it and giving him, they were all equal up there. So it wasn't like, oh, here he goes again. You didn't get any vibe of that.
No.
And so anyway, I think that's how it occurs. I think that's how we get it, no matter what walk of life we're in, is by practicing the muscle of being the most me and the most self-expressed I can be as the artist called Patrick today. We don't have that. We don't have the opportunity to just go like this and create a job unless we're anyone really. I mean, kind of.
So this now leads into, okay, so you can add the career strategy element to your creativity if that is what you think is required, because I don't think it necessarily starts there, but I do think that if you go join an improv class, if you start writing a short film, if you produce a reading of a play, that may start as I just want to be creative and express myself in this way. All of those things, whether it's making a podcast or writing a Substack essay or creating a YouTube channel,
drawing a t-shirt. Yeah.
But there are things that you can do creatively that express you creatively that are also career strategy. And you can choose those things if you want to. That's sort of a much healthier version of create your own work.
I think so too. I know so. I love doing those salons where we put together
with a group of friends.
That nobody does.
Yep.
And we gather everybody up. We rent a studio. We gather. Everybody loves it. It's free. We all love it. The actors, the audience. Everybody goes, "Oh, when are you going to do another one?" Now, you could say that could fold into a strategy, because you could say, well, now that I'm doing these, I'm going to get the word out and start getting some casting directors interested in coming, or directors. Why not? I mean, everybody has a great time. It's not like I'm going to be providing them with, a boring, and they can come or not come. That's the kind of budgeting I'm talking about. It's like,
totally.
That way, that energy doesn't just go, yay. It lands somewhere and maybe grows something.
You can attach a purpose to it, and once you've started inviting casting directors, and once you suddenly realize that you've scheduled 4 in the past year, you're like, oh, maybe this is a season of my tiny theater company that I just created.
Yeah, and isn't that great? I mean, that lights me up just thinking about. That's the other piece. Does it light you up? Does it actually make you go, even for a second? Because that's the dead giveaway that you're onto something.
But it's going to be authentic. With just you getting your friends together in your living room and reading a goddamn play together.
No, I don't. Yes, exactly. Not the part about getting casting out of it or whatever. But the part about that you said about now all of a sudden I've got a little mini theater company that's still in the creative vein. That is not in any way a career breaker. It's, for me, it's so delicious to think about doing something in little steps, and then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, oh, I've been doing this for 5 years. Like it's that to me. Kind of lights me up. It's got all the components that I love. It's got all the ingredients. It's got collaboration. It's got creativity. It's got, fun and play. It's got sharing. It's got making an impact on other people. It's charged with career possibility, if you want, or profession possibility for you or for others, right? It's got a whole myriad of ingredients that I love. So why wouldn't that open energetic doors? Why wouldn't it?
Exactly right. And I just sort of feel as though the people who complain about being told to create their own work, the ones who whine and say, oh God, why do people keep saying that to me? And because this exists, I know you're immune to a lot of social media scrolling and whatever, but it really exists. There is this whole subset of actors who are just like, oh God, if one more person tells me to create my own work, I'm just going to quit acting. And I just sort of feel as though those actors have outsourced so much of their artistic identity to a part of the industry that they have no control over. Like, if you're pretending you can if your artistic identity relies upon you booking a Netflix series, you are wasting the most exciting part of yourself.
Agree 1,000%. Beautifully said. And I agree 1,000%.
I want to bring in a comment that just came in on TikTok. Dave McIntyre, great to see you, Dave. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. He says, isn't working with a company still creating your own work? It's just a different muscle. Yes. I just want to clarify whether it's talking about like a theater company or a non-theater company. But this is exactly, I think, what Patrick is talking about in a lot of way, that the self-sufficiency of exercising your imagination, having being able to make choices. It is 100% this, exercising your creativity. You're still creating your own work just within somebody else's structure. And I don't think there's any differentiation with that. I think part of the thing we're talking about is once you're outside of the paid acting environment. Okay, so Dave clarifies. He says, either I'm just as creative in my classroom as on stage. 100% agree.
Are you a teacher, Dave, or are you?
Yeah, Dave is a teacher. Yeah, Dave.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely, that's a creativity. But
also
that's
an
creative
actor,
process.
and has been performing this year, and yeah.
But see, there you go, Dave. That's the same. Is it Dave?
Dave, yeah.
I can't see you, Dave. Sorry. There you go. It's this that point pinpoints exactly what I'm saying. Whether you're teaching or you're acting, whether you're doing improv or collaborating or working with an acting company, it's you, the artist, Dave, doing it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be creative. You're gonna be Dave the unicorn, no matter what. It doesn't have those parameters just sort of disappear because it's you. You're the common denominator.
Yeah.
And the more we've practiced that muscle of our imagination, our self-sufficiency, our self-assuredness as an artist, and our willingness to, those things engender a willingness to play, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, that's the case.
100%.
And as far as if you had been talking about an acting company, I was going to say, God, yeah, because I love having a structure imposed for me. I mean, I just love it. It's like, that's not my forte. I'm like, I really have to set a bunch of alarms and put Post-its up all over the place. Do something.
Well, I just want to sort of circle back to the idea that I was ruminating upon before, which is that I think actors don't give ourselves enough credit for. Dave says, Dave the unicorn? Yes, please. That you already are.
Yeah, you already are.
But I think as actors, when we get told to create our own work, I think we're not giving ourselves enough credit for where we're already doing it in our daily lives. We just don't acknowledge that it is like, for some reason, we have these blinders on that is, well, if it's not for a Netflix series or if it's not for Shakespeare in the Park and the Public Theater, then it doesn't count. 100% counts, but I think you can credit yourself with, I am exercising my imagination, I am making choices, I'm developing my taste by saying, I like this, what I've done, I don't like this, what I've done. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are all expressions of our creativity. Give yourself credit for where you're using it, but not acknowledging it. We've been approaching this from the acting standpoint, but of course there are creative artists everywhere in life. And I mean, just to sort of, as we wrap things up, I just want to sort of reiterate, creativity can be play, it can be expression, it can be just practice, it can be identity authorship, like this is what I bring to this, or it can be career strategy. You don't have to be doing all five. You don't have to monetize them. You don't even have to show anybody what you've made. The radical part is simply recognizing that your creativity belongs to you before anybody hires you to use it. That's
beautiful. And yeah, especially, and I love the part about you don't have to monetize it too, because that's a big one with people. It's like, it doesn't exist unless I get, I'm getting paid for it, or I'm in the stratosphere of some sort. Yeah, that's really beautifully said. I love that.
Oh, you're welcome. I try really hard to express myself, beautifully and eloquently, and sometimes it comes out really well, and sometimes it doesn't.
And the times it doesn't are so much more than the times that it does.
And remember, your word for the day is synapses.
Synapses, everybody. I can't do it. I used to be able to do an Australian accent, but now I can't at all.
We want to thank you for being part of this live podcast episode of the Working Actor NYC. If you want to see more of our programming, you can check out the workingactornyc.com. Crikey, mate. We're on YouTube. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Check us out wherever you happen to be. Come and find us.
But come and find us on YouTube next time, because I feel left out on TikTok.
Yeah, there's so much more to see and love. Namely, Patrick's. That's loud. I'm going to turn that down. We will be right back here next week because we missed a week. So we'll be
did
right
some
back here next
catching
week for our next live podcast. Please come and join us. We look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.
Ciao, fellas, kids, people.